type of intelligence known as intuition manifests in awareness covertly. It is not a mystical ability, but a capability whereby the unconscious mind quickly sorts through previous events and acquires information to produce gut feelings. Intuition, commonly called gut feelings, typically develops swiftly and comprehensively without knowledge of the data being processed mentally beneath the surface. Researchers have consistently shown how knowledge can enter the brain without recognition and positively impact behavior, such as decision-making processes. Hello, and welcome to the Connected Minds podcast today. I'll talk about your hidden brain or instinctual gut feeling. As our brain searches knowledge stored within long-term recollection for similar occurrences and provides in-the-moment judgments based on them, experts contend that instinct depends on pattern-matching abilities. The common phenomenon is known as highway hypnosis, which happens when someone who drives journeys for kilometers without consciously contemplating moving the vehicle is an example of the automatic information processing that underpins instinct. How can initial impressions and gut feelings differ? Like initial impressions, intuition fulfills the brain's desire to anticipate and plan for what will happen next. First impressions are quick, comprehensive evaluations of a person based on small perceptual clues and determining whether they are trying to help or hurt them. Both rely on automatic procedures, and because they are rapid evaluation systems, both are prone to inaccuracy, particularly because of personal biases. Is the sixth sense intuition? Although averting risk is essential to human survival, our brains are constructed to be particularly aware of warning cues and to absorb them before we can recognize and respond to them. It may seem natural to understand that, but it results from the brain's inherent bias towards negativity. It is not always correct, though, as the system for early alerts tends to overreact. Know when to believe the gut. Our instincts are frequently accurate, but we give them the degree of assurance they sometimes deserve. In some areas of expertise, for instance, the creation of initial reactions, they are more precise than others. Additionally, intuition is frequently helpful in spotting lies, other dangers, and sexual preferences. Should I believe my gut feeling? Gut instincts can be useful when making complex decisions. But according to the research of executives at the highest levels, even after they analyze mountains of data, their decisions are still left up to intuition. As a result, people generally justify their choices with what appear to be reasonable standards and do not reveal their personal choices. Is my gut feeling always correct? According to specialists, instinct is more trustworthy in some activities than others, regardless of how accurate it may feel. For instance, it can assist you in coming up with fresh concepts or novel forms for expression, but don't rely on it to understand terminology because reflective thinking is more appropriate for the job. Are individuals naturally more observant than other people? Everyone differs in how much they depend on intuitive understanding and conscious thought when using feeling, a type of reasoning. Additionally, there are individual differences in implicit learning, which is the capability to absorb detailed information despite becoming conscious that one has done so. Additionally, some persons have a wider range of memories with greater expertise that can be used to compare their present perspectives to. Is learning intuitive? Though the inner workings of memory function beyond our understanding, purposeful action is typically required to acquire the data that needs to be kept in memories. Learning depends on recollection intake and recall. Intuition is a poor indicator of how effectively you pick up something. Contrary to intuition, research shows that working in smaller doses is more efficient than studying for extended periods. Can my intuition be enhanced? You can develop your intuitive abilities. Expertise, dependent on implicit knowledge, is a source of intuition to a certain extent. Utilizing feedback and contrasting the consequences of events in everyday life with the intuitive decisions you make are essential to cultivating insight. Even said, a high level of intuition in a particular field of expertise does not imply dependability in others. There are 4 categories of intuition, each distinct and special yet generally simple to recognize. Thinking intuitively on the psychological level or cognition. Emotional thinking. Intuitive clairvoyant thought. Intuitive metaphysical, spiritual thought. Number 1. Intuitive mental reasoning, mental intuition, refers to the capacity to solve an issue without conscious consideration or in-depth analysis. This intuitive capacity is frequently present or perfect for vocations that need quick judgments. Number 2. Feeling-based intuition, the capacity to instantly discern a person's feelings and personality traits, is called dynamic intuition. Number 3. Possessing psychic intuition without making a conscious decision. Psychic intuitive reasoning entails solving an issue as it arises or deciding the best course of action in a challenging circumstance. Using psychic intuition, you can avoid adverse consequences or figure out your social interactions. Number 4. Sensing spiritual thinking. Unlike logic-based logic, spiritual perception is based on personal awareness and knowledge. This type of intuition is intimately tied to Buddhist concepts, which gives it an essentially mystical quality. In addition, it is associated with one's relationship with the upper dimension and heightened consciousness. According to the study, depending on intuition and supporting it might lessen our mind's strain and speed up our reaction times, enabling us to make judgments quicker and more precisely. However, while instinct helps survival by providing quick decisions in a crisis, it can also strongly rely on cultural capital, learning inputs unique to our political, religious, and social context. Therefore, it is crucial to prevent bias or inaccurate decision-making processes by opposing practical information. It is crucial to develop your sixth sense to help you make better decisions and be more creative with enough practice and confidence in your instinctual thought process.